Dominic, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to another episode of season 5. Love is Blind. It is episode 8. Did I say season 5? 3 times? Okay, that's I think that's enough, right? We have the last episode technically before the wedding. So, we have episode 8, which is, again, last step. Episode 9, which is wedding. Episode 10, which is reunion, coming out tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So, I'm going to do a review at 8:30. No, at 8:45 possibly. I don't fucking know. But yeah, this photo was kind of cool because, you know, it's, uh, it's all it's it's funny how different people they act the same. So every single season we have those characters, right? And those characters are a real human being, but in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of entertainment, they're characters, right? They're characters that are on TV. Some people we think we know, but we don't really know. It's like it's kind of like a concept, a psychology concept, right? Even I myself, I'm a character. Yes, I'm a real person, but behind a camera, behind a screen, behind a video, what is real, what isn't real? What am I saying, dude? Never mind. Let's believe this is some real shit, right? It's all fun and game until the couple of days before the wedding happen. You know you're gonna aim towards a wedding. You know you're gonna be aiming towards like a relationship, right? And it's kind of cool because it started to hit you. And last episode we saw the family. Now the family, the two sides, and I do like the fact that there's two episodes for families because again there's two families, right? So the father side and the mother side, I guess. You see there's some a super cute date between Izzy and Stacy. Things are working so well. I ship them. Out of the relationship, I think Stacy and Izzy have the most chances of winning, or not the winning, but to end up together, and that's the biggest prize you can get. It's not money, it's a relationship that lasts a lifelong, right? And it's super cute because in last episode, Stacy was telling Izzy, "You don't do enough." And Izzy, like, oh, he really tried. He really did something that's kind of cool. He really tried. He took her to a date, which was kind of nice because if you look at Izzy taking her on a date, and we thought Milton taking her on a date, I don't know if the airplane was supposed to mean something, but hey, and we talked about, and it sucks because we're talking about Izzy, how Izzy feels comfortable with the family of Stacy, and we know that Izzy, although I love his mom, Izzy's mom, she's phenomenal. But Izzy kind of come from a broken home, which has a lot of baggage, right? So the fact that Stacy, although her family, they're very strict, they're very union, they have this like sense of family. They're very together, and it's kind of cool because the family of Stacy really like Izzy, and for Izzy it's something big, it's something amazing, and it really touched me that Izzy is gonna be part of something that is very stable because Stacy family is very stable. It's just a thought and afterthought. Even Izzy was talking about how is uncomfortable inviting some of his family over for the wedding, and that must be tough for any person. Izzy is sensitive. We see him cry a couple times, and there's nothing wrong with crying. But you know that there's a reason why a person is crying. It's not necessarily what's happening right now. It's their baggage that they're having, right? Again, Izzy coming from broken home. We don't know his past. We know a bit about his past, but not so much, right? We're jumping to a it's super chill. We're jumping between a like a kind of like a chill session with Milton and his sister, and his sister, she's really not believing in it, and you can I kind of feel bad for Milton because there's a couple of times where Milton says, "Yo, their family, they're very emotional," and it's like what he means by that is because his family is not emotional, and maybe that's something that you lacked. And his sister, she's very like against Izzy, and it does seem like she's very against Milton and Lydia getting married. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, Milton is his own man, and I do appreciate the fact that Milton, coming from a family of oh, yeah. Milton is a special case. He's a very, very special case. He coming from a family of very strong people. And you can think that Milton is a bit more laid back. But then, here and there, it's not because he doesn't say shit that he's not gonna do shit, right? He might not say to his sister, he's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants, right? And his sister, although Milton is smart enough to understand that she's trying to get her back, there's also a clear indication that Milton's sister doesn't seem to experience as something very traditional, very normal, quote unquote. Because what the fuck is normal, right? And she's a bit against that, and I can tell it's hard to say if Milton is hurt by that, but he just loved the experiment. He just loved that what he's doing, and again, at the end of the day, it's his life. Family is important and all. I understand that, but it's your life, so you have to do whatever the fuck you want, right? So we have a date between Milton and Lydia, and they're shovel in paradise because so far, yeah, Stacy and Az were kind of rocky all along. Oh no, no, before that, sorry. It is finished with Izzy and Stacy. Izzy apparently has a debt. And it's a small debt, but Stacy, she's freaking out because once they're married, then Izzy becomes her debt, right? And it's a big story, but it's kind of cool because you can see that she's being mad. She's saying, "I cannot trust him because can I trust you?" And it's hard for Izzy. But at the end, I mean, it's money, right? And money is a source of worry for Stacy, which is again, we know that our past people have taken advantage of her. And once a person takes advantage of you, the trust is never going to be there. The trust is never going to be there, right? So there is this often case of Stacy being worried about money for not repeating the same mistake. Izzy again. I feel like he fell that from Stacy, and then he really fell for Stacy. And I have to take the defense of Izzy right here. You don't talk about your financial difficulty in the pods. You don't talk about that, right? Because you don't know what they're gonna show on TV, and Izzy possibly and understandably didn't want to look like somebody that has a lot of debt. And then they talk about TV, and he really fell in love with Stacy. That was his one goal. He should have told her there. And again, seeing how she was worried with money, how much she was worried with money, it's hard to bring the subject. And like a couple of days before the wedding, he brought it that he had a debt. It's not about a debt. Nah, but I understand Stacy because he did lie about it. He did kind of lie that he was like, nah, bro, it didn't work, right? So it's kind of messed up. It is kind of messed up, but at the end of the day, right? Who knows? So yeah, so they have this little fight, but at the end they seem to be chill. So that's all. Lydia and Milton, they had this fight, and I gotta say, Lydia's been a lot, and you can tell that she's really on Milton back, about him. Fuck, it's hard. It's hard. I want to have Milton back. They're Izzy and Stacy are very transparent. Lydia and Milton, knowing those two people, you're wondering what's going on in the back scene. You can tell that Izzy and Stacy are gonna have a lot of fun, but Lydia and Milton are dealing through a lot of shit. Right, for example, Lydia's constantly on Milton back about living in Missouri, and admittedly, that's fair. Uh, you're living at two, you should be able to live at two, but Lydia seemed not to understand that Milton has been living with his roommates, right? And they were accustomed to a certain type of living, which admittedly for some people it's not right. For some people it is right, right? If you see the apartment, I'm not the cleanest person, but this is my apartment, right? And I live alone. Of course, if I had a girlfriend, I would make an effort. But it's a period of adaptation, and it doesn't seem like Lydia understand that. And she's always on Milton back. Why I do feel bad for Milton is Milton constantly talk about works, about the pressure he has at work. You can see that Milton's family are putting pressure on him. You know, and Lydia, she does talk about work, right? But we don't really hear her mentioning a lot about work. So we don't really know how compared to Milton, what the workload is. It does seem like Milton, from what we're seeing, has more workload. So, of course, he's tired, and when he comes home tired, the first thing he's not gonna do is not gonna clean up, right? And Lydia is on his back for that, and Milton had enough because again, they're getting married in a couple of days, right? So they have a fight, and it's really cool because Milton, it's really fucking cool. It's so amazing. I want to compare Milton. Okay, so this is wrong of me. I understand that, but I want to compare Milton to Uche. Why? Because they're both dating Lydia, right? So if you have Milton and Lydia, this is algebra. Milton is X, Lydia is Y. The equal is wedding, right? So algebraically speaking, you can have Uche and Lydia for wedding because they were dating, right? The only variable that change is Milton. So of course, if you modify if you put if Uche is X and Milton is Z, you're gonna compare X and Z because they both equal to the same thing, right? Which is wedding. Um, so Milton, he's not trying to put down Lydia, but he does remark, and you can tell that he's listening to her, but you can tell that he's pissed off because, like he said, you get mad for no reason. You're always on my back, and he even tell her like, "I'm gonna make more effort. You gotta give me a chance, right?" Which is completely fair to say, completely fair. But again, Lydia, she's like, "Yo, she's being very defensive, right?" She's being very, very defensive, and she brings up Uche in the conversation. How he didn't treat her right. But Milton isn't Uche. And I know I was talking about comparing Milton to Uche, and there is a similarity. They both did the same girl. That I'm just thinking how Uche had a conversation with Lydia, where Lydia was talking, Uche waited, Uche waited. Uche was talking, Lydia waited. Milton and Lydia seem to have more communication, but again, Milton is dealing with a situation where, oh my god, I'm gonna be a dick for saying that. I'm gonna be a dick for saying that. I feel like if Lydia gets mad and she started giving shit to Milton, Milton will take it. You'll get angry, or take it, and then solve the situation. But Uche is the kind of guy to right away react. And although sometimes you shouldn't react, you should listen to your partner, there is time where if you don't react, it's gonna escalate. And then that's when shit blows up because you kept it inside for so long it bottles up, right? With Uche, although it's more aggressive, it is a case of I'm not letting shit get out of proportion and I'm controlling them. Controlling them, yeah. So they don't blow up. If you're honest and you're controlling, it's a hard concept to present in a good manner, but let me try. If you're in a relationship, okay, for example, in a relationship, I'm gonna say me with a girl because that's what again, I'm gonna date a girl. But if I was seeing that she was very volatile, if she was seeing that she was very emotional, and I'm a person that's very emotional myself. If I can keep the fight to a certain level, then I'll try to do it because again, I'm understanding that if we both get emotional, we might say shit that's gonna hurt the others. And there's only so much shit you can say to somebody else until they start feeling out of love, right? So Milton, he's not necessarily doing good because he's letting in Lydia. And although I was so proud of Milton for talking about the supper, for talking out loud about the supper, you have to put your foot down, bro. Because again, Lydia was talking about, she was trying not necessarily trying to deflect, but she was saying like, oh, it felt like she was blaming Milton for a lot of what he was doing. But Milton just pointed out that you get mad a lot. You're very emotional, right? And that's come as if it comes as a fear of the winning that's coming. Get comforted fear that for the wedding that's gonna real soon. But it's just a remark, and then when he tells her that, she right away says, "Well, you're messy. You're not clean, right?" So this seemed a bit like a deflection, like a deflection. But again, we don't know where Lydia coming from. And at the end, she did say, "I love you," and Milton did say, "I love you." You feel bad for Lydia because she cried, but Milton wasn't trying to make her. I don't think he was trying to make her. He was trying to make her cry. He was just pointing out something because they're getting married again. And yeah, that's pretty much the episode. It was a good episode. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of drama going on. But again, my issue with this season is there's only two couples. You can only get invested in each couple. If there's three couples, you can be more invested because there's more to be invested about. The fact that there's just two couples, like, well, I do care about Lydia, I do care about Milton, I do care about Izzy, and I do care about Stacy. I can only be so invested in their couple because it's not my couple, right? No, do I like seeing this on the movie. If you're seeing like if you're seeing a dating show where there's seven couple, right, and they all have their stories, I think it's always gonna be more interesting than two stories that are completely that are complete, right? Because at the end of the day, even if they're completed, well, some people they cannot, they're gonna choose not to be invested with Izzy and Stacey. Some people are gonna be choosing not to be invested with Milton and Lydia, and it's a very it's a lot of work for two couples to carry a season. And it does feel like this overexposure is leading us to it's leading us to less content than more content. And although depending on the person, a lot of people are going to prefer having a little content but profound content versus having a lot of content and just being able to see what's going on. But this is what the reunion show is for. To answer the question. At the reunion show, there's just two couples. Yeah, it's gonna be the whole cast, but still, you know, what's it gonna be? I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro.